Husraba. Jake Brown Radio coming live. NLCS Game 1 post-game show. A lot of venting to do here on the post-game. Amazing with Jake. Smash that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Don't smash the thumbs down. You could say thumbs down for the New York Mets, but not thumbs down for me. And the Mets lose game 1, 9-0. The Los Angeles Dodgers, 33 straight scoreless innings. And there's not a ton of dissect with this game, but it starts with Carlos Mendoza's decision to go with Kodai Senga. Listen, you can question it. I totally get it. It was probably the wrong move. Remember, hindsight's 2020. If Senga shoves for 3 innings, we're saying, wow, great decision to go to Senga. But I agree with the argument that you could have Manaea game 1, Manaea game 5. You go Severino or Quintana game 2. If you don't trust Senga and he's only going to give you 3 innings anyway, why start the series with him against Jack Flaherty, their ace? Why not go Manaea and then maybe Senga game 2 when the Dodgers are throwing a bullpen game? You have bullpen game versus Senga Peterson, bullpen versus bullpen. So you can argue that. But guess what? In the end, the Mets were shut out. So no matter how good Senga would have pitched, Peterson would have pitched, if they give up 1 run, the Mets lose the game. So as bad as that decision might have been, Senga sucked. You should have took him out earlier. This team still got shut out. Still 9-0. What I'm more pissed about, and I'm not saying it to everyone, but going on Twitter and seeing people quitting, and it's Twitter. I shouldn't take a deep dive into Twitter, but I was seeing a lot of it. And people saying, because I said it's going to, deep press is going to be a long series. People quitting. People saying this thing's over. And that's what pissed me off. This game pissed me off. It's a terrible start to the series. But for people to say it's over because they lost 1 game and didn't score, these games don't translate one to the other. They're all a separate byproduct of their own. The Mets could go score 9 tomorrow in the game. And by God, they have to win now. But this was going 6 or 7, which means the Dodgers were winning at least 2, and they took game 1. They set the tone. But how many times have the Mets come back from this before? Time and time again, they have. So I'm sick of the negative Nancy's and pessimistic Peters calling this thing over. I was right there with you. It was hard to watch tonight. They couldn't hit. They couldn't pitch. Senga had no command of the first inning. They kept him out there. He imploded. It was probably the wrong move. But the offense, too, has to hold some weight. They had 3 hits today. Jesse Winker should easily went to third after, a base hit. Instead, that changed the whole inning. I mean, you go from first and third, no outs, to runner at first with 1 out. They don't score. But either way, 0 freaking runs and 3 hits. So we can hold Mendoza accountable, who's pushed all the right buttons this year. This might have been the wrong one. But how do you respond? This is a team that has responded to adversity better than anyone else in Major League Baseball. One of the most adverse teams in the history of the sport, coming back from 11 games under to have the best record in baseball since May 30th. So if you're going to quit and say it's over, don't come back. I don't want you being on the parade if the Mets come back here and go to the World Series. And, if they don't, it's not because they lost game 1 and they threw Senga out there. It's best of 7. It's not best of 2. It's not best of 1. It's not best of 5. It is best of 7. Whoever gets 4 first. The Dodgers got to 1 first, but they still need 3 more. The Mets need 4. And that begins tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And if Sean Manaea could do what he's done for this team over and over again, the Mets will be fine. Can the bats come back? Tomorrow, the Mets have the edge. Today, the Dodgers had the edge. Senga was only going 3. He started off terrible. I don't know if it was he didn't trust his ghost forkball or he couldn't deal with the pressure of pitching on the road. We saw it his first battery face. Schwarber homered, and then they did nothing. But he gave up the homer on the first batter. This time he walked everyone. No command. Three batters walk, base hit. Freeman scores on a bum ankle from second. And you had a bad feeling about this game very quickly. And listen, Peterson didn't have it either. I was surprised they went right to Garrett. I thought they would go to Peterson first and have Peterson go a couple innings. But, now you're out of Peterson until probably game 4. Maybe he goes game 3. He won't pitch tomorrow, but, Peterson will either pitch game 3, if not game 4. But, that depends on what the other starters do. But you got to hit. In the end, you also have to hit. So they didn't hit tonight. But this thing ain't over. Now, if you want to panic tomorrow because the Mets lose tomorrow, I'm right there with you. Tomorrow now is a crucial, pivotal game. And Sean Manaea's got a deal, and the bat's got a bat. But stop with it's over. Good God. The Dodgers are a very good team. Anyone who thought the Mets were going to sweep is a lunatic. Anyone who thought the Mets were going to win at 5 is crazy. I said 7 for a reason. They're very good. And listen, Jack Flaherty's probably the best pitcher. Yamamoto's up there, but Flaherty's really good. I know he struggled a bit with the Dodgers and the playoffs, but he's good. And this is a team that's riding high right now. 33 straight scoreless innings. Tomorrow, that's got to end. It has got to end. Period. Point blank, simply, the New York Mets have got to get the job done tomorrow. And I believe, and you got to believe that they will, because they always do. This is not the same old mom and pop Mets anymore. This is a different team, and there is reason to have hope that they win the game tomorrow. And if you don't have hope that they win tomorrow, go to hell. Give up. Quit. We don't want you. I'm just sick and tired because I've been that person, the negative Nance. There's one guy, we all know Frank the Tank, of course, but there's another guy on Twitter I always see, and he's like a season ticket holder too, and it blows my mind. It's like, why do you even get tickets? Why do you go see them if you're so freaking negative all the time? I don't know how people do it. It would drive me insane. There's got to be some positive Peter and not pessimistic Peter in there. This team is different. And listen, even if they lose tomorrow, I'll panic if they lose, of course. But even if they lose tomorrow, they return home for 3 games. And if they do lose this series, Carlos Mendoza, who has been a godsend all season, I'm not going to say he shouldn't have done Senga. They lost because of that. Because look at the score again and see how many runs the Mets scored tonight. Zippo, 0, zilch. No one was sweeping this. And listen to this. Last year, the Phillies were up 2-0 on the Diamondbacks in the NLCS. Remind me, who won that series? Remind me, what seed were the Diamondbacks? That's right. Same as the Mets. The last team in. The team that snuck in. Down 2-0. On the road. And everyone said that was over. Everyone said the Diamondbacks aren't coming back. So why can't the Mets do it at 1-0? Bat's got to come to life. Now, I get the Dodgers pitching has been dominant, but it's a bullpen game tomorrow, most likely. And I think the edge goes to the Mets here. Sean Manaea, another legacy moment. Do it for his aunt. His aunt passed away. He threw 7 dominant innings against the Phillies to close out the series. Should he have started today? Probably so. But if he gives you 7 innings, 1 run, you still have a score. And while I agree that it sets a terrible start, that they couldn't do anything, It's a terrible start with Senga, and that set the tone, but the Mets still didn't score. Senga pitching bad didn't mean the bats couldn't hit Flaherty. They could not hit Flaherty. They couldn't hit the curveball. The home plate umpire was giving them every call. Every call was going their way, but that didn't matter because it was 9-0. But every call went their way. Flaherty shoved. The Mets didn't hit. Senga didn't pitch. Peterson didn't pitch. Bing, bang, boom. Mets lose. On to the next day. It ain't a 162 game season anymore, but it's a best of 7. And what I've seen from this Mets team is they go out and win the baseball game tomorrow. Tomorrow's victory. Tomorrow's a happy victory Monday. And you go into Jets Bills talking about a Mets win and then returning home Wednesday. So don't quit on this team. Don't quit on this season. Just don't. I just don't get why you do it. Why would you factor the past Mets life and look at it now? Because if you've watched this team, you know they're not done yet. And if it ends here, you know what? Of course we'll be mad. I'm not saying to not be mad, and I'm not telling you how to be a fan, but of course, if this team loses a series, you're gonna be pissed off, of course, because how they got here and the magic and the moments and the resiliency to end here would feel weird, but also the team playing with house money, going up against a team that spent just as much or way more than they did in the offseason. The LA team that money could buy. Like, they blew a lot of stacks to put this team together. Now, I said that they were limping in and the Mets were in better position. I still think that's the case. I just think it was a bad night. But I believe in Sean Manaea tomorrow. You should too. Jake Brown Radio, amazing with Jake on YouTube. Smash that thumbs up on YouTube for us fans, for me. And we'll smash the thumbs up tomorrow for the Mets. Reading your comments. We'll keep it short today because they didn't really do anything. But I just had a vent with some of you freaking losers who are quitting. Bunch of quitters. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Claudia in the chat. Only game one. Jolly Jake. Love the optimism. We need you. I'm trying. I used to be this person. After every game, I get so mad. But how can you get mad at this team, man? Like, if you've been watching, how is one loss in game one going to make you quit on them? It's just the logic just doesn't line up to me. And it's not everyone. There's a lot of people who are on the same boat as me saying, you know what? Yeah, we'll get them tomorrow. And tomorrow will be a different post game if they lose. It'll be a different Mets magic. It'll be a different post game. It'll be concern. It'll be some pessimism if they go to Queens down 2-0. Because then the Dodgers do have the upper hand. I don't think they have the upper hand with a bullpen game tomorrow against the Mets ace. And that's probably what Carlos Mendoza was thinking. Mendoza has pushed the right buttons. This one might have been wrong, but every time it feels like he pushes the wrong button, the next 3 buttons are right. So maybe his logic and his thinking worked. It's saying, hey, we still got Manaea for 2. We thought Senga give us a couple innings. He did not. But we have Manaea. We have Quintana. We have Severino. He might have made the wrong call tonight, but he didn't call for the bats to do absolutely nothing. That's not on Carlos Mendoza. Somebody's got to get a hit. They got to drive in runs. Winker, I don't know what the one rally they have going. Jesse Winker cannot get. I mean, that was a wild sequence. Jeff McNeil, I said he might have big at bat in the series. He comes up pinch hit in a blowout and swings at the freaking first pitch. Pops it out the short. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, it doesn't matter, but come on. Bro, you just got back. Take a pitch. I mean, the Mets have to put better at bats together tomorrow, too. They're going to have to draw some walks. Look at how disciplined the Dodgers were. They saw that Senga didn't have it. So they said, yeah, we're going to take a walk. We're going to take a walk. We're going to take a walk. They were run DMC. They were walking this way. And the Mets were walking to the dugout. There's no rock song about walking to the dugout. Gotta win tomorrow. Tomorrow is earlier game as well. You wonder the sun and the glare and everything that might play a factor. Maybe it benefits the Mets. Maybe it benefits the Dodgers. I mean, both teams are going to have to play through it. 4:08 start. Not Al Roker. I don't know what time the sun's going down. Maybe someone, if you want to type in the chat, let me know what time sunset is. You figure game ends around 7:30. But that makes a difference as well, going up against a bullpen. And at some point, listen, the Dodgers are going to have to give up runs. 33 scoreless innings is remarkable. That doesn't just keep going. It ends at some point. And the Mets have got to make sure it ends tomorrow. And if they do, they'll be fine. They're also going to pitch smart to this lineup. Like, listen, Ohtani probably should have been walked with a run at second there. They're going to have to be smart with who they want to face. The problem is it's deep. The bottom of this lineup is even solid. And I said, Will Smith, I didn't even mention Max Muncy. Came out with a big hit today. They got a deep lineup, top to bottom. They got, lefties, righties. They got it all. And it's going to be tough. And that's the reason I said it's going 7 games. So you got to buckle up and enjoy the ride. The ride will become very bumpy if they lose tomorrow. I just have a hard time seeing this team lose tomorrow, man. Every time they lose a game like this and it's a dud, it feels like the next day they say they band together. You worry that the days off, this is the first time they had a stretch of days off like this. They came out lifeless. They couldn't hit today. I will say I was concerned with that coming in is, hey, I wanted them to keep rolling, like get on a flight and play another game the next day. I did worry, like this is the first time they had time, and obviously the first day or two they did party. They at the club, and I agree they should. I'm not condoning partying, whatever, but my worry, was that this is gonna be a tough start. The days off, they got to get their mojo back. Let me know in the chat how you feel and smash that thumbs up. Let me know. Do you think the Mets take game 2? Are you on Panic City? What do you think happens tomorrow? Do the Mets go back to New York 1-1, or do they go down 2-0 and force themselves at the very least to win 2 in New York? They cannot lose this series on their home turf. Citi Field can't see that. We can't see that. We don't deserve that. If this series they do lose, it's got to happen in LA. We can't live with watching this team get eliminated in our house. It happened with Hallman in 06. It happened in the World Series in 15. It happened in the wild card in 2016. It happened in the Padres wild card in 2022. It happened in the World Series in 2000. We have watched them go down in our house far too many times. And this team has done too much great for us to see it and deal with that again. And I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's any shot they're clinching at home because that would mean they have to win 4 in a row. And that's hard for me to even think is a possibility to happen. But you got to get this thing back to LA for 6 or 7. And that will be fight. It'll be resiliency. And it'll be Shaw Mania victory tomorrow. It'll be the bats coming alive and ending this scoreless drought. 33 innings is impressive. Listen, a lot of those are relievers too. Like Dodger bullpen's nothing to sniff at. Like it's a good bullpen. You could argue it's a better bullpen than the Mets. One, if you want to look at silver lining positive from this game from the Mets, is you still got Stanek. You didn't use him. He'll be fresh for tomorrow. You didn't use Diaz. You have Diaz fresh for tomorrow. You didn't use Maytone. You have him fresh for tomorrow. You used outside of Peterson, who you want to say, but you knew he was going to pitch today. You used Budo and you used Danny Young. I mean, Danny Young finally got to see the field. So, very minor silver lining, not a good one. But, just believe. Carbonucci wasn't even close, silver lining. Carbonucci. this them losing 9-0 today does not mean they're losing 9-0 tomorrow. And that's what people are so freaking stupid, dumb, idiotic bozos who think that today translates to tomorrow because they didn't hit today, they're not hitting tomorrow. The people who say that don't watch baseball, and I watch every game. I've been in that dugout. I've been on that field. I've talked to those players. I have Pete Alonso's phone number. I have been there. It does not translate. They're different properties. The transitive property doesn't say because the Mets lost 9-0, they're going to get shut out and lose again tomorrow. And if you think that, you're an idiot. You're just dumb. I agree a little fight would have been nice. 100%. I think they strung some hits together late, but Dodgers just had it. Listen, Flaherty was filthy. That knuckle curve is a very tough pitch. We talk about the ghost forkball. A knuckle curve when it's on, like Jack Flaherty had it, was really good. And that's a big deadline acquisition that they made. We go back to deadline. The Mets didn't want to give away big time prospects to get a Flaherty. And I don't blame them. I think the Mets had a quietly good deadline because they didn't mortgage the future. The Dodgers didn't really mortgage the future to get Flaherty. They gave some prospects, but they got a ace kind of pitcher, and he pitched like an ace. The Mets ace was not ready to pitch like an ace because he wasn't even going to go 3 or 4 innings. So you can argue, why the hell is he out there? And I don't disagree with that. I will not disagree with someone who says that, 100%. But the score was 9-0. The Mets didn't score. They lose 1-0. It's a different story. But they lost 9-0. So you give up 1 run. 1-0, it's a different story, but the offense still didn't score. Diane says, I think I'm gonna catch a little bit of cold too. I gotta take some medication. I gotta be ready for New York this week. These OMG sandwiches people are sending me. I gotta do 2 food reviews. There's 2 OMG sandwiches, Ben & Terry's Deli, and then another one someone sent me on a Blue Hero. The Blue Hero is not as good because it's got like coleslaw on there or something. The one at Ben & Terry's looks fantastic. They DM me back. I'm gonna probably go there and do a food review this week. What are your thoughts on Ottavino leaving the roster? I think that was a no-brainer. I think you had to have McNeil here. You didn't need if there was a game. It's funny that everyone was tweeting the game you need Ottavino would have been tonight in the mop-up duty, but it didn't make sense. Danny Young got his chance to pitch tonight. I think it was smart to keep Danny Young. Case the lefties. You didn't think it'd be in a 9-0 game, 6-0 game, but whatever. It happens. I'm a big Mets fan, but a blowout is a blowout. A blowout is a blowout, but it's one game. A blowout today doesn't mean they blow out tomorrow. They just don't go hand in hand. It's a different day. It's different pitchers. It's different weather. It's a 4 o'clock versus an 8 o'clock. It's game 2 instead of game 1. Everything is different tomorrow. And if they lose 9-0 tomorrow, I give you permission to laugh in my freaking face. But I guarantee you they're not losing 9-0 tomorrow. Now, I hope they don't lose 12-0 because then it looks even worse. But, they're going to show up tomorrow because they always do this year. This Mets team doesn't just lay down flat and call it a season. And I think they're coming back to Queens with this series tied at 1. And I think people should believe that. They got to have belief. I can't control what goes on in your mind. I'm not going to say you're a bad fan if you're worried, but I'm going to say this: believe. I hate to use the Ted Lasso, the sign, believe, but believe. Believe that the Mets come back to Citi Field, this beautiful place that we call home, on Wednesday with a win. Believe that apple will rise and the Mets will come home and win games. Believe, because you gotta. It's what Tug McGraw said to us in 1973 when I was negative 18 years old. He said, you gotta believe. And in past years, there haven't been many times to believe. But this year, and the storybook season it's been, tells me the Mets are coming back and winning a baseball game tomorrow because it was going to go 6 or 7, and someone had to take 3. at the least, and the Dodgers took one. This is my sign. Maybe I gotta write like believe under here. Believe. I gotta do the Ted Lasso. This is a really makeshift setup that I couldn't just have this like hanging. Is there like can I hang this from the air, like from mid-air? All right, enough of this side. Tomorrow. Mets 4. Dodgers 2. Mets win 4-2 tomorrow. You heard it here first. I also think they got to play smart tomorrow. And that's, like I said, better at bats, draw some walks, move guys over. Can this team steal a base? I mean, it seems like everyone will steal on them, and they won't steal on anyone. You got speed in this lineup. Lindor can steal a base. I know he's hurt, but he can steal a base. Nimmo can steal a base. Winker can steal a base. Marte can steal a base. Taylor can steal a base. These guys can steal some bases. I hope you're right, but whatever happens, they're giving us more than we hoped for this year. I'm grateful for that. And that's part of why, like, it's hard for me to understand the quitting mindset tonight with all this team has given us. And I hate to have that loser mentality of, oh, it was a fun season. Of course, you want to freaking win this goddamn series. But there is that little thing in the back of my big fat head saying, look how far they've come. They're a year to 2 years ahead of what we expected. They're still 4 wins away from a World Series appearance. They still have Ryan Clifford in the pipeline. They only had Senga for 2 starts this year. He barely pitched. You got Ronnie Mauricio wasn't even here all year. You got Luis Angel Acuna in the pipeline, who's already shown you in the brief time that he could be an everyday player. You have a ton of money coming off the books. You got plenty of money to spend this offseason. I mean, it is orange and blue skies. The future is bright, and I don't want to look at the offseason future yet because it's only 1-0. But that's got to factor in the back of your brain when these games do happen. And God forbid they lose the series or they go down 2-0 and you're starting to lose faith. Just stay to the end. This team's deserved that from this fan base. It doesn't deserve the doom and gloom. Past Mets team deserved the doom and gloom. 2022 deserved the doom and gloom. 2016, they barely snuck it. Like, this team just, so far, it's been the most magical of our lifetimes. And, you know, it's much more magical if it ends with a ring on our finger. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. This team would look better with a ring on their finger. But, you know, Dodgers are a very good team. And we knew it was going to be tough. You saw it. I wanted the Padres. I'm going to be honest. I really wanted the Padres. I didn't want the Dodgers because of their playoff experience, because of their manager, because of Ohtani. I really didn't want the Dodgers. And again, I still think the Mets are winning the series, but I just felt the Dodgers were the better matchup for this Mets team. We'll find out. Just win tomorrow. Smash that thumbs up if you're watching Mets Magic Podcast right after the game tomorrow. Jets Flight Club after the Jet game. Steph Brown, I like your attitude. I've been that negative guy. And past years teams, listen, I did the Amazing but True podcast with Nelson Figueroa at the New York Post for 4 years. In those 4 years, the team made the playoffs once and lost in the wild card 2 out of 3. I had a lot of reason to yell. I had a lot of reason to rant. And people did love when I ranted and was negative. But those teams sucked. They had Luis Rojas, Mickey. They had some bozos. They had some bums on those teams I covered. This team's got heart. They got soul. They got guts. They got cojones. They have a manager who's pushed the right buttons. They have a star and a face of the franchise in Lindor. They have what it takes. It's just going to be a gritty road to get there. They got to show their grit. They got to grab their balls tomorrow in LA and win in Hollywood and get that plane after the game Monday, coming back to New York, coming back to Queens with the series tied and Citi Field absolutely buzzing at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Simple as that. Just win. In the words of Al Davis and the Raiders, just win, baby. And if they go down 2-0, panic sets in. But again, you got 3 at home. 2-0 doesn't mean it's over. The Diamondbacks were down 2-0 in the NLCS last year, and they won and made the World Series. Same exact position. Division winner, team that snuck in, 2-0, 2-0, they came back. So, again, a loss tomorrow is not over. But I totally understand the panic if you go down 2-0. I just think they'll win. Good night. Hope you're right. Take care. Yeah, I'm going to get off here in a second. My throat is shot right now. A lot of talking the last 5 hours. I did a TikTok live. I did a Twitter Spaces. Did a YouTube live. I did a TikTok video. My throat is shot. I'm going to need a throat coat, cup of tea. But let's win tomorrow. This sucked tonight. It was a terrible feeling. They were dead from the first inning. But that doesn't translate to tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Doom, doo doo, doo doo, doo. Okay, I'm done. Daniel Barry, hey everyone. Hello. Smash that thumbs up. Share this with your friends, Mets fan friends, food friends, life friends, New York sports friends, all your friends. 2 thumbs up. Ebert and Rober, like it, subscribe to Mets Magic. Appreciate that. I'll put the link in the chat so you could go there. You know, it's a grind out here in these streets. But we're here. We believe, and you're here with us, and you believe. If you're watching this, you believe that this Mets team will do it. You're craving for a title like I am. You're craving for victory. And Sean Manaea has given us a ton of them. He's on the legacy outing line tomorrow. Hello, Mr. Manaea. Hello, this is Legacy Insurance. We need you to dominate because you have 20 million plus a year on the line. You've done it all year. You've done it in the playoffs. We're calling on you again, Mr. Manaea, to do it again in Los Angeles. The words of Nike, just do it. But you got to score first. They got to set the tone early. Lindor, look for Lindor to have a monster game. And I know that sounds simple. It's Lindor's. I just, he had a couple good swings today. I think Lindor is going to hit a big home run tomorrow. Just watch. Another big Lindor moment is coming tomorrow in a Mets 4-2 victory. And we'll be back after the game tomorrow. Might do a pre-show tomorrow, but after the game and the Mets Magic podcast tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, for watching. You got to believe, man. Don't give up. Tomorrow's a new day. I believe the Mets will win tomorrow and send this back to Citi Field 1-1. Thanks for watching. Smash that thumbs up, share, comment, all that jazz. Have a great night, everyone, and let's go Mets.